Hi YouTube, my name is DeMarte. This is going to be a story time slash vlog, and this is going to be about my ex-boyfriend. And I'm going to give you advice on what not to do that interferes with everything in the relationship. Okay, so this is how I'm going to start this story. I met his cousin on Facebook. His cousin wanted me to talk to my ex-boyfriend. So since I can't say his first name, I'm going to give him a name. I'm just going to call him Diablo, even though that's not his real name. I'm going to come up with a name for his cousin, and his cousin name is going to be Cedric. Okay, so Cedric messaged me on Facebook and told me that his cousin Diablo needed someone to date or talk to. Okay, so I told Cedric that I was not interested in talking to anyone. So Cedric insisted that I talk to his cousin Diablo, and therefore Diablo messaged me, and me and Diablo started talking. So me and Diablo started talking for a little while. We've been talking for a couple of weeks, and so therefore our relationship kind of was lovey-dovey in first sight or whatever. He was in Arizona and I was in Houston, Texas. So, and he was far away from me, and I was far away from him. So, but we managed to make it work. And we decided to establish a relationship, so therefore we were boyfriend and boyfriend. And it was good from then, but I'm just gonna give you a little taste of this story. Okay, so me and him was messaging for a little while, and we were talking for a couple of weeks or whatever. And Diablo messages me and tells me he's getting thrown out by his best friend or whatever. Apparently it was not his best friend if he would be getting kicked out of your apartment. So I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep the story real or whatever. And so he's getting kicked out by his friend or whatever, and all of a sudden there is no way he can get another place. And then on top of that, he's supposed to be finding a job to help his best friend pay for food, electricity, water, those things like that. So as he's getting kicked out, his friend's boyfriend throws everything out of the house, leaving him outside with all of his things. So he goes to one of his neighbor's houses, and must I mind you, the best friend really isn't the best friend if the best friend does not give you anything or ask you for anything. So as he was living with the best friend, the best friend would go out to parties and stuff like that, and there would not be any food at the house for my boyfriend, well, aka ex-boyfriend. There would be no food for him. So he would be starving, and his friend would come back from a party with food and would not share anything with him. So as he was telling me that he was getting kicked out or whatever, he was like, he's so hungry and he hasn't eaten for 2 days or whatever. But so therefore he goes to one of his neighbor's houses and asks if they have food or anything. And the Lord answered his prayers to find him something to eat. So therefore he was living with his neighbor for about a couple of days or so. They were helping him get a bus ticket to come to me, because my little head don't listen, but I came up with the idea to let him come and stay with me. And yes, that was the biggest mistake of my life, and I do regret it, and I also regret some other things I will not tell you. But yeah, he was there. He was down in Phoenix for a couple of days, and Diablo messaged me and was like, I'm on my way. I was like, did you get a bus ticket? He's like, yes, I got a bus ticket, I'm on my way. So I see you in a couple hours or so. I'm like, okay. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to call him and stay on the phone until he came to Houston. And so therefore we were on the phone for so many hours. That first day we was on the phone for like 7 or 8 hours, and then he hung up. And then he called me back and was like, I'm sorry, my phone died or whatever. I'm like, okay, it's all cool, fine, or whatever. And then I'm just going to skip ahead. So a couple of hours later, it was 11:50 something. He was like, he just arrived in Houston or whatever. I'm like, okay. And I asked where he was. And that's when he told me he met a friend. And she was a stripper. And, that really bothered me because you meeting people and you already thinking that y'all are friends or whatever. So I'm like, I'm going to move past this situation or whatever. Because I do kind of get jealous, but not really jealous. So, while he was having his little friend moment or whatever, he was telling me that he was coming. So therefore his friend paid for a cab that they were sharing. And they dropped him off closer to my apartments, and he missed me talking about that he was outside. So I was like, okay, I get to see Bay or whatever, and I was happy. Like, I was really, really, really happy. And so I left my house to go and meet up with him. And I see him, and my heart is like pounding out of my chest, like really, really, really hard. And I can't explain how my feelings were, but my feelings were like, yes, I get to see him. This is the first boy I get to meet. Because out of all of my other relationships, I could not see them. There was no video chatting. There was no phone call. There was nothing but text messaging and social messaging. But this was one of the very first ones where I was going to see in person. And I was like, yes, finally I get to see one of my boyfriends in person or whatever. And the first couple of weeks, we were vibing. We were having fun. We were kissing and stuff like that. Because this was my very first boyfriend that I've seen in person. And it's really weird for me to be like, oh, this is my boyfriend or whatever to everybody. But it eventually came out that way. Because I was not supposed to have him at the house. I was not supposed to have him in my house. But I ended up having him in my house anyway. And, but I didn't get in trouble for it. But I did, got pulled over to the side. I was like, you're not supposed to have him in the house. But my mom's boyfriend has to take everything out of proportion. And everything wasn't really like how it was. But, how we started, bonding and stuff like that. We were chilling. We watched movies. We chilled like a regular couple, And he did certain things that I didn't like. For one, he talked to my sisters more than me. And it's crazy that I'm the only one that's not getting any communication out of him, but all of you are getting communication out of him. And my sister is like, why isn't Diablo talking to you? Like, I don't understand it. Diablo's talking to us more than he's talking to you. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Because ever since they started telling me that they were talking to him, that he was talking to them more than he was talking to me, our relationship started going downhill. Like, quickly downhill. And, for a short period of time, he was living with me for like 4 weeks. 4 weeks. And I was helping him find a job. Because he was not trying to help himself. And my mom was like, how long is he supposed to stay here or whatever? I was like, I don't know how long he's going to stay here, but he told me about 2 or 3 weeks. And must I mind you, it's been 4 weeks since he stayed with us for a while. And, my first thing that I wanted to do is, since I already introduced him to my family, I wanted to introduce him to my best friend. And my best friend was like, sure, y'all can come over and I want to meet him. I want to know, is he a cool type, down-to-earth type person? And in my eyes, I believed that he was a cool, down-to-earth type person, but he was not. So we're walking down the street from where I live to my friend's house. Okay, so we get here to her house or whatever, And he starts getting rude and stuff like that. And it's like he didn't really like the vibe or whatever. And then she was telling me all about the people that she, used to hang out with or whatever. And he was like, oh, she's a hoe and I don't want you to hang out with hoes and stuff like that. And in my mind, I was like, who are you to tell me who I can and can't hang out with? Like, that's not the whole point of you being my boyfriend, like, at all. Like, I didn't want you to come and tell me who I can and can't hang out with at all, because that's not the point of our relationship. So I guess he got mad when I was like, who are you to tell me who I can and can't hang out with? And he goes to my sister and is like, can you help us? We're having an issue. I'm like, it's too early for us to already have all of these issues. So I'm like, I already know that we wasn't going to last, and I know our relationship is not, like, going to be how it's supposed to be. And, long story short, he caused so much headaches. He caused so much. He did any and everything to piss me off. Like, he would nitpick with me. He would try and argue with me. He would mess with me early in the morning. Because I'm not a morning person. Truth be told, I'm not a morning person. But I do have my days where I'm happy that I'm feeling happy. And he wants to come and ruin that happiness for me for that whole entire day. And I'm pissed off for the whole day. And I don't see how nobody would want to be with him. I don't see how anybody would want to be with him with the way he acts, because he acts like an immature child. Hello, I can see you. Come on out, come join the story. This is my best friend. This is the best friend that I was talking about. That I
introduced. Told me like that. something wind down.
Okay, so this is my best friend that I introduced to.
What's up? This the crack.
Hey, you ruined the video.
He saw it, dog.
Hold
on. Okay, so what part was you on?
I was on the part where I introduced you to him. When we first came over to you.
Oh, yeah. He came to my crib or whatever. And he was being all nice and all that kind of bull crap to me. And next thing I know, we go to the mall. You know, we having a good time. I pay for him some food and all this kind of bull crap. So, when they went back to their house, tell me why my best friend called me. And he was like, oh, yeah, he said you was a hoe, a slut, and you be effing so many niggas. Who do I be fucking? Let me know. He told me some shit if this dude. Boy, who?
Yeah, but then after a while, after we visited her and we went straight home, while certain things started to come up missing, and we started to suspect that it was him. One, it was her hoverboard.
I found out who took that.
And it was my games, and I never found out who took that.
I can't find my Batman game either. And
should I believe he stole some other shit? But
too.
You know, substitute name, his name is Diablo, and the cousin,
Diablo.
And the cousin's substitute name is Cedric.
You should name them asshole and asshole number 2.
But anyways, long story short, he's not the good type of boyfriend that I was hoping for, but you know, he was I don't want to say he was an alright boyfriend, but he was not a good boyfriend to me at all. And he's just the type of person to just piss you off, you know, and make you feel some type of way. She's over here Snapchatting while I'm sitting here telling my damn story time.
Oh, whatever. I'm trying to figure out if this dude gonna still come or not. Because if he not, baby, I will be calling up a new dude. Boy, what?
But see, long story short, he's not a good boyfriend. For one, you have to make sure. This is gonna be my advice to people who has people that gets kicked out and comes to a whole nother state and don't know nothing about a whole nother state. Okay, so this is advice number 1, and this is the advice: don't invite him to your house if your people do not approve. 2, do not bring him around your best friend or any other friends, because he may or may like that person too, and may try to do certain things with that person. Because when we went to the mall, he was touching all over her, touching on her assets.
And I was like, I thought you was gay.
But turns out, he said he told me he was a top. But turns out, when my sister dropped him off to his other friend's house, he was a bottom. So basically, he's a liar, and I don't really like the fact that he is.
I'm missing 2 nails, y'all, by the way.
But advice number 3 is make sure everybody's compatible. Make sure everything is going smoothly like you hope. Don't just bring a person to your house and think everything is okay. And then advice number 4, don't let him eat all the food. That is rule number 4. Do not let him eat all the food, because once your food is gone, he is not going to replace your food at all. But as I was saying, I was trying to help him get a job so he can get his own money and buy his own food. The night that I helped him do an application is when we got into our first argument in our relationship. I know it was cute. It really wasn't. It wasn't a pretty scene. But he made it worse when he was trying to come back and forth when I wanted to be separated. Because when I separated, I'm calm. And he just did not want the relationship to, disappear. But I felt the sparks was going to disappear anyway, because he doesn't know how to treat anybody he doesn't know how to respect other people's parents. Because what he did was, he tried to degrade me in front of my mother, talking about that I was talking about my mother. Nobody's boyfriend or girlfriend should go to their parent and try to be best friends with their parent and degrade them. That is not the type of person you would want in your life. And it's crazy how to put this, that you have a person in your life that's going to degrade you to your own parent. Like, would you want somebody to degrade you in front of your own parent and have you be the bad person? Like, he was a whole manipulator. He wanted money. Money was his key thing that he asked for. And guess who he came for first with the money?
And he was like, can your mama let me borrow some
money? Borrow money. How you gonna borrow money and you ain't got a job to pay it back?
But he already had money on his card.
And this is what we found out. I had messaged the lady who helped him get here. I had messaged that lady. That lady was like, "Hi, what do you mean about Chris or whatever?" I was like, "Well, oh shit,
Diablo."
Well, y'all don't even know who he is, but anyway, that's a damn slip up. But Diablo or whatever. What is up with Diablo or whatever? And I was like, he's a manipulator, he's a liar, he used you for your money to get here. And she was like, hold on, what do you mean? Because I have my neighbor who's over here, who is absolutely my friend, and she was over here helping us get his ticket to come to Houston. And like, she was like, did he have any money when he came here? I was like, no. And I was like, how much money was missing? She was like, $400 was missing out of the lady's purse. And I was like, this is crazy, because she was like, the only thing that she kept in her purse was hundreds. And she told me the amount that she had in her purse, which was around like $1,200. And he took $400 from her, stole from me, and possibly stole from somebody else. So whoever he was dating out there in Monroe, Louisiana or whatever, because that is another story that will be on my part too. But he stole from me and said he didn't take anything and claimed that he didn't take anything. But apparently it was all a lie. And yeah, we separated. I'm back with one of my exes, and this will be a continued ongoing process with one of my exes that I will only get with. And this would be the only one I would absolutely get back with. Because all of my exes are whores, and, they're cheaters. They like to talk to other people while they're in a relationship. And I really don't like people that talk to other people while they're in a relationship, because that makes me seem like You don't want to be in a relationship with me. You want to be in a relationship with everybody. You don't want to be in a relationship. You want to have sex with everybody. You want to be with everybody. You
I think
want
that
to
story
be
that he
abusive.
had told about him getting, you know what? I don't think that was
And
true.
I don't think that was true either.
I think he was lying. Because it didn't make sense. It didn't add up. I was like, but now you talking about something you don't want to do this and do that, but you end up trying to do that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that don't make sense.
And that was my biggest regret, losing my virginity to him.
To that little thing, the little comedian.
But package ain't always about the packages, honey. Cause he wasn't packing much.
Can he stroke?
He wasn't packing much, but
Can he stroke?
But anyway.
Can he stroke?
No, he didn't. He didn't know what he was doing. So therefore, I don't count that as losing my virginity at all, but I still count that as a regret. Cause we did other stuff that I will not talk about.
He wasn't doing nothing if he can't stroke. That low key made me mad. What you doing? Fucking air? But what you thought this was? Boy, you supposed to be up in there like you in the swimming pool, boy. Bitch, you better not drown in my shit, bitch. You better swim your ass up in that motherfucker, bitch.
But anyways,
hold your breath, motherfucker. Bitch, what the fuck, bitch?
This will be the end of my vlog.
He be like, shit, I didn't drown.
I will be coming out with I will be coming up with a schedule when I will start. Well, when I will continue my vlog, and yeah.
Okay, so he done with this because we about to get on our thing right quick. So yeah, hello, goodbye,
bye-bye.
Anyway, it's still recording.
Oh shit!
You're supposed to press. Yeah, there you go, baby. There you go.